Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be tying the wicked white quill buzzer. So you can see there's one in the vise, and as it happens I'm in the process of sorting my gear out for next year, looking through my fly boxes, discarding those that are a bit jaded or have come apart or been chewed a bit too much. And since I haven't tied a buzzer on the channel for a little while, I thought this would be an ideal pattern. So this one has worked well for me on Clywedog. It's also worked well for me on Farmoor, albeit on Farmoor I sometimes use a slight variant that utilises a golden olive peacock quill for the body, as opposed to what you see here, which is a natural stripped peacock quill. So bear that in mind, but like I say, it works well for me over and above some of the standard quill buzzer patterns. So I'll just run through the materials before we get into dressing it. So hook size is 10s and 12s. The tie-in silk is black in 6/0. The body in this instance is stripped natural peacock quill, and the wing cases are goose biots in white. Look, so let's get that changed out and we can get on with it. So once again, Camasan B175 in 10, and on all my buzzer patterns I start directly behind the eye and take the tie-in silk all the way down to the bend. So just try and make sure you keep those in close touching turns, and if not, use the tag end just to squeeze them up. So it gets a bit tight on there. Once we're there, just snip off the waist and take one or two more turns. Okay, so if I get my strip peacock quill, lots of places sell these, and in fact this is one of the vineyard strip quills, and they've shot up in price in recent times, and I suspect that's because of the availability of peacock eyes on the market. So if you've got any, keep hold of them, because they're getting rarer than hen's teeth. So once we've returned the tie-in silk up, what we do is we need to take 6 or 7 turns with the quill up the body. Don't worry about trying to get them to touch. Leave a slight gap between each turn, and what you'll find is that you'll get a really nice segmented body, regardless of not having touching turns. And on these larger hooks it's much easier to cover the hook shank by leaving that small gap, as opposed to trying to get butting or touching turns. So once we're up to the tie off point, just trap it and then return your silk all the way to the eye and trim off the waist. Okay, so the next thing to go in is the white goose biots, and take a pair of them off the stalk and then offer those up against the hook shank, pull them back into place, and then initially just trap them with a couple of turns of tie-in silk, and then what we can do is start to orientate them. If you want them to come from under the thorax, just push them downwards, and we need to take a further 10 or 12 turns just to ensure that we've got a suitably sized thorax. And you can see there that those biots now will come from underneath. If you want them down the sides, just tie them down the sides. So all we need to do now is build the thorax by going back down to the eye, back down the body, and then finally back to the eye. Okay, and what we now do is we get those biots and make sure that they meet above the eye. Do a small pinch and loop, and before we go any further, we'll just take a look at their position. So although many people advocate snapping those off, occasionally you'll pull out the whole biot. So I'll give them a little snip just to start that process, and then hopefully, there you go, we can go. So I like a big head on my buzzers, so all I'll do is I'll take the tie insel back to the eye, and then using 6 or 7 turns of whip finish, wind back up towards the thorax and then tie off. So the final thing then is to add some UV resin. Start off with the thorax and get your bodkin. Make sure that we spread that around to cover all parts of the fly. A little bit more. Yeah, you don't need to swamp it in resin, just give it a good coating. You can either finish off then with a coating of Sally Hansen or nail varnish or super glue. It's entirely up to you, but I think there's just about enough on there now. Just to finish it off, give it a good going over with the UV torch. And that's it. So that is the Wicked White Quill Buzzer. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Cheers then.